Opening scene establishes the Varath Empire's military superiority across known space. For 3 centuries, their armada has remained unchallenged, their graviton beam technology capable of tearing apart any vessel within seconds. Admiral Korvax stands aboard the flagship Eternal Dominion, overlooking a routine patrol near the frontier systems. His species, the Varath, evolved from predatory pack hunters, and their military doctrine reflects this heritage with overwhelming force and coordinated strikes. The Empire controls 200 systems, and no species has ever survived prolonged conflict with them. The patrol detects an anomaly near the Kepler 442 system, a recently surveyed region containing a primitive species called humans who achieved nuclear fission only decades ago. Varath intelligence deemed them centuries away from interstellar travel. Sensor Officer Thalen reports impossible readings indicating a massive energy signature materializing from nothing. Before Korvax can order an investigation, a human warship designated Relentless appears in normal space, its hull showing no signs of conventional propulsion burns or jump drive residue. Commander Patricia Blake commands the Relentless, humanity's first deep space combat vessel built in complete secrecy. Her crew of 200 trained for 5 years in classified facilities beyond Neptune. The ship employs revolutionary quantum displacement drives, allowing instantaneous repositioning within a star system, a breakthrough achieved through combining theoretical physics with experimental power systems. Unlike alien vessels requiring minutes to charge jump drives, Relentless can phase between locations every 8 seconds. Korvax opens communications, demanding surrender and expecting immediate compliance as all species do when facing Varath military power. Blake responds with tactical data showing the Relentless has been observing their patrol patterns for 6 days, mapping every ship's position, weapon charge cycles, and communication frequencies. She explains humanity discovered the Varath 3 years ago through deep space telescopes and spent that time preparing for inevitable contact. The Admiral dismisses this as bravado from an inferior species, ordering his graviton beams to disable the human vessel. The Varath flagship fires, and the Relentless vanishes 0.03 seconds before impact, reappearing 12,000 kilometers away at an angle allowing clear firing solutions on 3 Varath destroyers. Blake's tactical officer, Lieutenant Danny Morrison, coordinates the counterattack using railgun systems accelerating tungsten projectiles to 15% light speed. Humanity abandoned energy weapons after determining kinetic impactors deliver more destructive force per unit of power. The first volley strikes 2 destroyers simultaneously, their shields designed to disperse energy beams, but offering no protection against solid matter traveling at relativistic speeds. Korvax watches 2 ships explode within seconds, their hulls torn apart by impacts releasing energy equivalent to multiple nuclear weapons. He orders the fleet to scatter formation, assuming the human vessel requires extended targeting time like conventional weapons. Instead, the Relentless phases again, this time appearing within the fleet's protective sphere, and Morrison's crew launches 16 simultaneous strikes against different targets. The Varath military doctrine never prepared for an opponent capable of repositioning faster than their weapons could track. Engineering Officer Lieutenant Karen Fisher manages the quantum displacement system, each jump requiring precise calculations to avoid materializing inside debris fields or overlapping with matter. Her team developed navigation algorithms predicting enemy movements 3 seconds ahead, allowing the Relentless to phase into optimal firing positions before opponents react. The Varath observe this with growing alarm, their tactical displays showing a single vessel systematically dismantling a fleet that conquered dozens of civilizations. Blake orders weapons hold and transmits new terms to Korvax, explaining that Relentless carries enough ammunition for 300 additional engagements, and 6 sister ships are currently deploying throughout Varath territory. She reveals humanity has been monitoring their empire's internal communications and knows about recent colony uprisings, supply line vulnerabilities, and political divisions within the ruling council. The humans offer peace with a simple condition: leave Earth system and all neighboring regions permanently designated as human sovereign space. Korvax faces an impossible decision that goes against 3 centuries of Varath military tradition. His species never retreats, never negotiates from weakness. Yet tactical analysis shows clearly that continuing this engagement results in total fleet destruction within 10 minutes. Communications Officer Sarath notes that humanity has not targeted life support systems or attempted to maximize casualties, deliberately aiming for propulsion and weapons instead. This restraint, while demonstrating overwhelming superiority, suggests strategic thinking beyond simple aggression. The Admiral queries his ship's artificial intelligence for probability assessments. The analysis confirms that human claims about additional warships are consistent with the technology demonstrated, and that their intelligence-gathering capabilities likely exceed Varath estimates. More critically, the projection shows that news of this defeat will spread throughout the Empire within days, potentially triggering the very uprisings intelligence services have been monitoring. Korvax recognizes that tactical defeat here could cascade into strategic collapse across multiple fronts. Blake provides one final demonstration, having Morrison target a specific crater on a nearby moon with a single railgun round. The projectile impacts with such precision that it vaporizes exactly 17 square kilometers without affecting surrounding terrain, proving absolute accuracy at extended range. She explains that humanity could have opened this engagement by destroying every Varath ship simultaneously from positions they never detected, but chose instead to demonstrate capability while offering honorable withdrawal. Korvax accepts the terms, ordering his surviving vessels to retreat beyond the designated boundary. As the Varath fleet withdraws, Blake receives confirmation from Earth Command that the diplomatic transmission has been recorded and distributed to 17 neighboring species who have suffered under Varath expansion. Within hours, 3 client species declare independence, and 2 former enemies of the Empire request formal contact with humanity regarding mutual defense agreements. The final scene occurs 3 weeks later aboard a neutral space station, where formal negotiations establish the Treaty of Proxima. Ambassador Gregory Hunt represents humanity alongside Blake, who is now recognized throughout local space as the commander who defeated the undefeatable Varath. The treaty establishes human territory, creates trade frameworks, and most importantly, introduces the principle of proportional military response, where technological superiority should be used for deterrence rather than conquest. Korvax attends as the Varath Empire's representative, having been promoted to strategic advisor for his decision to preserve the fleet despite cultural traditions demanding suicidal last stands. He privately acknowledges to Blake that humanity's greatest weapon was not their technology, but their willingness to demonstrate power while offering mercy, something the Varath never considered because they never needed to. Blake responds that humans learned through painful history that strength without wisdom leads to destruction, and that the galaxy would benefit from others learning this lesson without repeating humanity's mistakes. The story concludes with Blake standing in the observation deck of Relentless, watching the station recede as the ship prepares to jump back to Earth. Her executive officer, Lieutenant Ryan Campbell, notes that within a month, 16 species have requested diplomatic contact, 7 want to purchase human technology, and 4 have offered military alliances. Blake reflects that humanity spent centuries dreaming of finding other intelligent life, and when they finally did, they discovered a galaxy where might determined survival. By refusing to follow that pattern, humans have begun changing the rules themselves, proving that the newest species in the cosmos might teach the oldest ones something about moving forward. The narrative explores asymmetric warfare, where humanity compensates for being the newest spacefaring species through innovation and strategic thinking, rather than raw power. The quantum displacement drive represents human tendency to find unconventional solutions, while railgun technology demonstrates the principle that sometimes older concepts become revolutionary when applied with new understanding. The story avoids the common trope of humans being stronger or more aggressive than aliens, instead showing them as more adaptable and willing to learn from history. Character development focuses on Blake as a commander who understands that true strength includes knowing when not to use maximum force. Her decision to disable rather than destroy, to demonstrate rather than devastate, reflects military thinking that evolved beyond pure dominance. Korvax serves as a mirror showing how rigid military doctrine collapses when confronting opponents who refuse to follow established patterns. His growth from absolute certainty to acknowledging limitations represents the Varath Empire's broader need to evolve. The supporting cast provides technical expertise and different perspectives on first contact. Morrison represents human precision and tactical adaptability. Fisher shows the engineering mindset that makes seemingly impossible technology functional, and Hunt demonstrates that diplomatic skill matters as much as military capability. Each character contributes to the central theme that humanity's advantage comes from combining multiple disciplines rather than excelling in any single area. The Varath Empire functions as an antagonist that is not inherently evil, but rather trapped by its own success. 3 centuries of military superiority created cultural assumptions about how warfare functions and what responses are possible. Their graviton beam technology became both strength and weakness, powerful but predictable. The Empire's structure reflects species that never needed to question their methods because those methods always worked, until suddenly they did not. Technology in the story serves narrative purpose while maintaining internal consistency. Quantum displacement drives allow tactical flexibility, but require sophisticated calculations and 8-second recharge periods, creating natural tension and preventing the technology from becoming an unlimited advantage. Railguns provide devastating firepower but need precise targeting and time-of-flight considerations. Energy shields protect against beams but fail against kinetic impacts, establishing clear rules for how combat functions and why certain choices matter. The story's resolution emphasizes that humanity's real victory was not defeating the Varath fleet but changing galactic political dynamics. By demonstrating superior technology while offering peaceful terms, humans established themselves as a new type of power that other species want to engage with rather than flee from or submit to. The Treaty of Proxima becomes a model for future interactions, suggesting that humanity's greatest export to the galaxy might be the idea that strength and restraint can coexist. Underlying the entire narrative is the recognition that humanity's position as newcomers provides unique perspective. Where older species developed rigid patterns over millennia, humans bring fresh approaches precisely because they lack established interstellar traditions. This inexperience becomes an advantage when combined with humanity's documented history of learning through catastrophic mistakes and developing systems to prevent repeating them. The story suggests that sometimes the most valuable contribution is not ancient wisdom, but the willingness to question assumptions everyone else accepts. The complete 10,000-word narrative should maintain third-person limited perspective, alternating between Blake and Korvax to provide both human and alien viewpoints during the engagement. Opening sequences establish the Varath Empire's dominance through specific examples of previous conquests, creating context for why their defeat carries such significance. The appearance of Relentless should be detailed through sensor readings and crew reactions, building tension before the first exchange. Combat sequences need precise choreography showing how quantum displacement drives change tactical thinking. Each phase jump should include Fisher's calculations, Morrison's targeting solutions, and Blake's strategic decisions. The Varath response should demonstrate competent military thinking that simply cannot adapt quickly enough to completely new paradigms. Weapon effects must balance spectacular destruction with technical plausibility, avoiding both sterile descriptions and physics-defying spectacle. Character moments throughout the battle reveal personalities under pressure. Blake's command style should show confidence without arrogance. Morrison's targeting reports should reflect professional precision. Fisher's engineering updates should convey both technical expertise and stress management. On the Verath side, Korvax's internal conflict between military tradition and tactical reality needs careful development, while Sereth and Thalen provide perspectives on how subordinates process their commander's impossible position. The negotiation sequence requires shifting from military action to diplomatic interaction without losing momentum. Blake's terms should be reasonable but firm, establishing clear boundaries while offering face-saving options for Verath withdrawal. Korvax's acceptance should feel like a decision reached through logic rather than coercion, recognizing that preservation of his fleet serves the Empire better than symbolic last stands. The exchange should demonstrate mutual respect between commanders on opposite sides. Aftermath scenes showing galactic political shifts should be concrete rather than abstract. Specific species declaring independence, particular diplomatic requests arriving, and measurable changes in regional dynamics provide tangible consequences for the engagement. The Treaty of Proxima negotiation should include multiple species representatives beyond just humans and Verath, establishing that this moment affects the entire local region and sets precedents for future interactions. Pacing throughout the story should balance action sequences with character development and world building. The initial confrontation builds tension through increasing stakes. The battle itself provides intense action with strategic thinking. Negotiations offer dramatic tension through dialogue, and resolution provides both immediate satisfaction and hints at larger implications. Each section should flow naturally into the next while maintaining distinct emotional tones appropriate to the content. Dialogue must sound natural while conveying necessary technical information and character personality. Blake's commands should be crisp and clear. Morrison's reports should be precise without being robotic. Fisher's explanations should make complex technology comprehensible. Korvax's speech patterns should reflect alien perspective without seeming stilted, and his communications should convey the authority of someone accustomed to absolute military superiority facing unprecedented challenge. The story should conclude with the sense that this engagement marks a turning point for humanity and the galaxy. Blake's final reflection should acknowledge both the responsibility of possessing superior technology and the opportunity to influence how power is used across multiple civilizations. The closing image of Relentless preparing to jump home should feel both triumphant and thoughtful, celebrating human achievement while recognizing the complex future that achievement has created.